Hello everyone, and welcome to Autocrat. This is just a little message, or an edict if you like, to talk about the official dating system of our new Roman Empire. After all, you can't have an empire or a reign without a regnal year. As you know, we started the podcast in September of 2023. Well, we wanted to pick a date that worked backwards from there, so that the podcast took place within year one of our quote-unquote reign rather than being the starting point itself. So, we cast our eyes around to see what might be a suitable day to pick out of a hat as the inaugural day of the Empire. In the end, we have decided on, let's say, November 4th. Specifically, the one preceding the podcast launch, which would be November the 4th, 2022 CE. Why this day of the year specifically? Well, it's basically random, but there are a couple of fun reasons. In the first instance, it is listed as the day that the future William III and Mary II of England were married. William and Mary are iconic as ruling as a power couple, which we, as co-equal Emperor and Empress of the Romans, are keen to emulate. Moreover, William III was half Dutch on his father's side and half English on his mother's, whereas Mary II was part French through her grandmother Henrietta Maria of France, who was in turn the daughter of French King Henry IV. As you may have gathered at this point, Cassie has French ancestry, whereas I myself am half Dutch, so again, this parallels quite nicely. Admittedly, William and Mary were first cousins, both being grandchildren of Charles I of England, so I have to admit that this is where the similarities end. Second of all, it is the same day that a riot and attempted coup took place in Constantinople against Anastasius I in the 6th century. And what is more Roman than a riot in Constantinople? Perfectly emblematic as an inaugural day for our new Roman Empire. A Roman emperor was also crowned that day, in opposition to the Western Roman Emperor Honorius. Finally, in 2022, the closest black hole to Earth was announced as being discovered at that time. Cassie is quite a fan of astronomy, as you might have gathered both from the topic of some of our episodes and our little tangents, so again, that feels quite appropriate. So, what does all of this mean? Well, let's do a review of our timeline from the perspective of our new imperial year count. As might be expected, the podcast began in year 1. The acclamation by you the people of the podcast ratifying our imperial elevation then took place in year 2. This new year count also shifts the birth of the Princess Imperial and Duchess of Constantinople to year 4 of our joint reign. We hope that this little tangent of an edict demonstrates that we're still having fun with the show and playing around with it. We hope you are too. It is, after all, the best way to approach projects such as this. With the show at the time of recording only having made it as far as the Roman Kingdom after several years, we still have a long way to go. So it's a good way to avoid burnout as well. However, that is it for now from our side of things. Back to your regularly scheduled podcast.